Live.
Put in the books. The New York Mets have just beaten the big, bad, unbeatable Atlanta Braves yet again, 6-4 in Citi Field. We had a fuck bomb. We had a Vogelbach. We had two bombs, and then we had trumpets just to fucking take us home the last two innings. And Phil, life is good right now. Life is good.
It's
the trolls
great.
started coming out. They started chirping a little bit, and now they're going to be quiet again. Our boy Frank the Tank is officially done throughout the postseason. Your pal Clem has gotten you taken care of. That's right. Fucking what's the line? What's the Wedding Crashers line? Living the dream?
Living the dream. Okay.
Yeah. Living the dream right now. Everyone's good. We got Kyle and Phil. How we feeling, baby?
I tweeted out, I was like, Edwin using Buck for 6 was always the right call. I'm just that exhausted. I flipped Edwin and Buck. I was like, Buck Showalter 6 out safe.
Unbelievable.
I got to tell you, my heart wasn't really ready for this October baseball in August.
No.
Hands are literally was sweaty. I'm like, this is uncomfortable. I feel like I'm having a panic attack. But I mean, hey, it doesn't matter who's on base when Diaz is on the mound. That's the overarching factor here. It's impossible to even fathom. But I'm like, oh, the guy's on second. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that is the reason we don't lose extra inning games, is because when the man on second rule comes in, we can get one guy in and no one can get anybody in because he just fucking wipes him out. It doesn't fucking matter. James McCann, the plant, he's the fucking Winter Soldier. The Braves took him in and they reprogrammed him to somehow really fuck us and be even worse than he has been. And he did his best to give this game to the Braves, but the New York Mets, the good guys, won. I don't want to be negative, but that is the one thing. I mean, James McCann at this point, like, I think Nito just has to be the starter. Forget the 50-50 split. I think Nito just has to be the guy.
Well, it's like ball finds you. He's the catcher. Every ball finds him. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Shout out Cookie. I'll first one hand up. I was really worried we were going to get the communion wafer in the first inning just because that's all he fucking has done for us for so long. And Cookie came out, he dealt. Can't put too much on him. I feel like there was that, the inning that they hit us. It was kind of a weird inning. Ottavino gave up a run, is what it is. And listen, I tweeted out the Eppler picture because let's give the man his flowers now. His 2 non-trade deadline day acquisitions, but still trade deadline-esque acquisitions, are the reason the Mets won this game, along with Pete Alonso. They hit the bombs. That's the reason they won. Everyone's like, well, the bullpen, here we go. The bullpen gave up 1 run, and that's what bullpens do. Every fucking bullpen does it. I mean, the Braves didn't do it tonight in the 2 innings they pitched, but our bullpen's going to give up runs, whether we had Robertson, whether we had Chafin. The bullpen is going to give up runs. That's why those guys are in the bullpen. But just a fucking overall great win. Frank the Tank off of Twitter until October. He has what do they call it? The Frank the Tank Army or something like that.
Hank's Army, the group chat that I've been added to that I've had to leave just because it's Frank just being negative, spamming DMs. Like, I can't do that. His team's 29 games over 500. We got to be happy about this.
If you can't get behind this team right now, 29 games over 500, and honestly, we talked about the number today, the run differential and all that kind of stuff. Will go down if Jake stays healthy, Max stays healthy, and everyone stays pretty good. Should go down as the best Mets team we will ever see in our lifetime up to this point. Like, you're just hopeless. You could cry Will Pond, you could cry PTSD, all that kind of bullshit. At some point, you just have to be happy. Just like the Lindorks, sooner or later we had to kill them. Just like the Ed losers, sooner or later we had to kill them. The fucking Mets Panic City, at some point you just have to shut the fuck up and enjoy it. This Kevin's role in the podcast. He yells at the Mets fans. I'm done yelling. I just had to get on my soapbox for a couple seconds because I did see everyone freaking out on the notifications.
Let me get on my soapbox. All the talk, like, oh, they didn't do enough. Tyler Naquin, 2 home runs. Daniel Vogelbach, home run today, home run yesterday. That's 4 home runs. You know how many home runs combined we've gotten from JD and Dom this year? 4. And all those are from JD.
It's crazy, man. And like, again, Vogelbach, the juju, you just see that big fucking load running the bases. Might be potential podcast guest. There might be some whisperings going on in the DMs. May have a special guest coming up soon. If you can't get excited about that guy, like, that's the point of watching baseball. If you're not going to enjoy the wins, enjoy the big man hitting home runs and trotting around the bases. I mean, Jesus Christ, people.
And you know what else is getting lost in the shuffle? That first run of the entire game, like just opening up the floodgates. What did we score a run in the first 3 innings? Big RBI by Pete right there. I mean, that's what I feel like with the team. Like as the game gets going, if they get off to a hot start, they're just off and running right away. And we haven't seen like a ton. I was actually thinking about this last series. They haven't like been their old self where like they're running the bases like crazy. They're trying to take those extra bases, stealing, that type of stuff. I think we're going to see that in this series. Like they're locked in and they know this is the games that actually matter.
Yep. And again, we had the juju going. It was evident from the jump. National Cookie Day. Cookie comes out. He's dealing. Aunt Mary's prediction. This is what she says. Birthday scouting report. Cookie on National Cookie Day. Good juju. Kyle Wright's birthday does not scare me. Kyle Wright sucked tonight. So fuck him. I can't believe he went as long as he did. Kept their bullpen relatively fresh. And then she says, I expect our offense to score at least 4 runs against them. We scored 6. Aunt Mary does not miss. Trying to think of, we talked McCann. At this point, I think Nito should be the starter more times than not, but I'm not gonna harp on the negative too much. I mean, all these guys just come through, man.
Run into one. At some point, you would just guess. If you're going to get out every single time, you might as well just be a guess hitter and become Adam Dunn. At least you'll run into one occasionally. This in-between shit where he's just flailing at the ball and grounding into what would have been a double play. Second he hit that ball, I was like, I just need to refresh the timeline because everybody's just killing him.
If James McCann was a 100 hitter with like 12 home runs, yes. I would take that.
Damn.
He's not that.
Yeah. And listen, we said it on the podcast. I said, if Alvarez doesn't come up, I can live with our catchers being good defensive catchers and calling a good game and all that stuff. But when you can't even play defense anymore, James, you're giving me no fucking defenses. I'm running out of spin zones at this point. And we talked about it. This happened. This got announced or mentioned after we did our podcast during the day today. Basically, Eppler said never say never when it comes to Alvarez coming up. So I think at this point, I would say, gun to my head, do I think Francisco Alvarez will be in Citi Field by the end of the season? If not by, August 30th, 31st? He has to be called up to be postseason eligible.
I don't think August 31st exists, so.
Wait. I thought August. I think it is. I think it goes
31 days, Phil.
Yeah. August 31 days? I always forget this.
No, 30 is September.
Okay, no, August 31st does exist. Got it.
Hey, Philip, don't you fucking get smart with me right now, young man. That's June 31st doesn't exist. I brought up the dad voice for you there. But yeah, so that's one thing I saw this guy, our boy Ethan just said in the chat. Does this mean Diaz is unavailable tomorrow? I would have to assume. And this was his first outing since Friday, you said, Phil?
Friday, yeah. I'm pretty sure Friday.
Shout out the Nationals. Shout out the Marlins. Nice little runway to get us all lifted off and just having Edwin just take his time. He'll be available for Saturday, which is going to be a doubleheader. So we're going to get Diaz at most in these 5 games. You'll get him 3 times now because he's not going to be available tomorrow. You're not going to use him in 2 games of the doubleheader.
But that was always going to be the thing because you're never going to use him in both games of doubleheader anyway.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say maybe you could have done. Yeah, you wouldn't have gone 4. You're not going to go 4 days in a row with him. That would take an extreme fucking measure to do that. How are you guys feeling when Lugo was the guy that when they threw Lugo out there? Like at this point, Lugo's, I guess, our number 2. And I'm just going to keep watching those Yankee highlights until my eyes bleed just to tell me everything's going to be okay.
I think it reached the point where Lugo is only going to come in if Edwin blew it. Lugo was not coming in if it was like 6-5, and they were in a jam. And that was Edwin's game to lose.
Yep.
And shout out to the Braves for being stupid in the 8th and putting the ball in play with 9 pitches, 10 pitches.
First pitch.
I don't think that was in Buck's head that he was coming back out for the 9th until he saw that and he was like, well, that was easy.
Yeah. I just think Buck was managing on the fly there.
Which you love to see. Gut. It's something that's lost in this game nowadays. Anyone else is like, oh, no, we need to make sure we save them and go whatever. It's like, no, dude, we're up 3.5 games, and we're going to go and get this win for the 4th game. So now it's 4.5. There's only 4 games left in this series. I know how math works.
They're 4.5. Wait, did the Braves win today or did they lose?
We
played the Braves.
Yeah, the Braves
again. We haven't lost series in all season. That's right. What the fuck am I saying? The big bad Braves, the unbeatable Braves. All right. So let's see. Anything else? Let's see. Diaz. Tomorrow we are going to more than likely see the bullpen. We're going to see maybe Gibbons, Trevor May, all that kind of stuff, Lugo, whatever it may be. So just buckle in now. And again, it's the fucking bullpen. That's how things work. What's tomorrow's matchup?
Taiwan.
Taiwan Walker versus Ian Anderson. So
Ian Anderson, and he's their weak link of this rotation.
He's the worst starter, but Taiwan's a bit of a bad matchup for that lineup. So we're gonna have to score runs. It's gonna be a slugfest if we want to win that one.
Our boy Phil was fucking. I saw the tweets going out. It's like we need to score runs because they don't stop scoring.
They don't stop scoring. That fourth one was lucky as fuck, like off the base.
Yep.
That's the scary thing about a team that can just change the game with one swing of the bat too. It's like the game's never really out of reach if you don't have like a 5-run lead.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a little like, that Yankees lineup where it's just like, motherfucker, they just have these guys that can put the ball out of the park if they absolutely have to. That hit off of Diaz. Who had that hit off of Diaz in the ninth?
Rosario
on an 0-2 fastball at his head.
Just swinging with his fucking eyes closed. And that angle, it just had it perfect. And I'm like, shit, is McNeil going to get that right over his glove? That's the other thing I want to talk about. Luis Guillorme. Fucking making magic in the field, wiping out all the McCann bad juju, just doing what he does. Professional hitter, professional fielder, professional goddamn baseball player. I love that guy so much.
I said, I don't think I'll ever see a better infielder on the Mets than Ray Ordonez was, but he's as automatic as they come. Like, if you could win a utility player Gold Glove, he's a shoo-in.
Yeah. So my DMs here, these are Frank's DMs. I'll give you guys a little hint of what I was looking at here. This is at 9:55. This is why they need another reliever. Bad camera angle. Curse Diaz. 6 outs is a lot. Nervous time. McCann is killing. This team is killing. He can't do anything. I got a bad feeling about this. Diaz was on fumes. Cy Young. So that is the fucking emotional roller coaster of the tank brain, where it's just hell, and then Cy Young. I mean, at this rate, Diaz is going to get Cy Young votes, right? I mean, if you just have a guy who just shuts down the other team, who's the other guys that are in the Cy Young? I'm not going to do a whole Cy Young thing about a closer right now, but obviously Alcantara, who will probably face next
Fried
week.
We'll see Saturday.
Yep, Fried.
I think Gonsolin fell off a bit, but yeah, it's mainly those two.
Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy to think, and the New York, the Narcos, the whole thing is going to definitely be the marketing department will be there for Edwin Diaz to get some votes. I just don't think it'll happen unless something happens to all the other guys, and he just keeps closing games for an 100+ win team. That's just what this team is. That's what that closer is doing. This fan base deserves this. Most of this fan base deserves this team, deserves this closer, deserves this kind of ninth inning experience where fucking everything is as fucking calm, cool, and collected as you're going to get. Your Coors Light, presented by Coors Light, Blue Mountains to the soul. That's what Edwin Diaz is to us. Do you guys want to take some calls here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll take some calls. I'm going to throw
it. Do you guys think that Scherzer's already penciled in for the night game on Saturday? I know they haven't officially announced it, but is it something where you think Buck looks at tomorrow's game and then goes, all right, we win or lose, like, let's see where I stack him now?
He may just be penciled in to face Max Fried, whichever game that is, yeah.
So, speaking of which, Barstool at the ballpark will be on Saturday. Get your tickets now. Get them before they announce the starter. Who cares? Thursday, not Thursday. I'll tell you what I know it is, no matter what. It's Jacob deGrom bobblehead day. Get your Jacob deGrom bobblehead. $100 to get you a ticket to the game, $18 food voucher, 3 hours of unlimited beer, or till the 7th inning, whatever comes first. And again, that atmosphere is going to be rocking. It seemed like it was pretty crazy today, but you do that on a Saturday night when everyone's all liquored up. If you want to maybe get your little pregame, go to Pump Punk at night. I don't know if those times really match up. You could do that too. It's good to be a Mets fan. We're going to throw it to the calls, and we're going to start off with Josh Wolf, who is a one-time fan of the week, and he's shirtless right now. So you're going to throw guys on his – oh, no, he's not – that's a skin-colored shirt. I apologize. I was like, we're having fun right now.
Oh, man, nobody wants to see that. No, not at all. Man.
How we doing, Joshy baby?
We're good. I'm so pumped. I'm kind of upset Diaz went 2 innings because I'm going to the game tomorrow night and I really wanted to see him pitch in person. I'm not going to lie, but focus on today, focus on the win. I haven't been to City in 6 years, so I'm pretty pumped to get out there and see a game. So
tonight was any indication, it sounded electric.
I can't wait. I saw the Mets play in DC earlier this year, second game of the season, which was a great game. It was that rain delay game, which was actually a lot of fun to be at. And then, but I've seen some bad Mets games. I was at the Pittsburgh walk-off last year. Miserable experience in the end. Great up 8 innings of awesome baseball. And then, yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. That is people. I still like. I got attached to some. Oh, Big T call it out my blog, and I get some fucking random Braves fans arguing with Mets fans. Just the dumbest fucking people in the world in my mentions, and they're talking about like this team and how the 2021. I'm like, are you fucking guys that fucking like? Do you just not watch the Mets? This team is nowhere near last year's team. It's a different team. They should just be wearing different fucking jerseys. It's couldn't be further.
29 games over 500. We haven't seen that since 2006.
Yeah, it's nuts. The run differential just keeps gaining every single game. And I mean, at this point, like, good. People keep telling us this team isn't as good. What is it now? August now. So I guess the September swoon is going to be when it all catches up to us. Let everyone else sleep on us. I know the other 29 teams in baseball don't want to fuck with us, but let the fans keep thinking that. And then when they come in and they just go, oh, these guys are like, I saw them. They're like, oh, fat Pete Alonso, fat Daniel Vogelbach. Those guys don't have to run fast when they hit the ball over the wall. They can take their time, do their little home run trot around the bases. It's a beautiful thing.
And you know what? Vogelbach's got some wheels on him. I think he's faster than James McCann. So
you know what Vogelbach is? I just thought of this now. If you've ever played Mario Kart and you use Donkey Kong or Bowser, the big guys, it takes a little while to get them going, but once they're moving, as long as you don't hit like the railing on the side, those motherfuckers can cruise, and that's what our boy Sexy Back can do. Vogel Snack, whatever you want to call him. Give me one takeaway from the night, Josh.
Ooh, one takeaway. Diaz. I mean,
there it is. One word, one name.
If we're in the playoffs, I'm extremely confident when we get to Diaz every single time.
Yep, that's a great way to put it. And
he's gonna fight for the Cy Young spot by the end of the year. I think it'll be a lot closer. If anywhere in this world, I mean, again, Sandy is phenomenal. I've been a big fan of him for a couple of years, but I think he will push closer than we think and maybe win it. You know what? That's my take tonight. Diaz is winning the Cy Young.
We'll put it in the Barstool Sportsbook. Bet with Josh Wolf. So there we go, man. Thanks for calling in, LFGM, my friend. Enjoy the stadium. All right.
Steve Cohen just tweeted. Someone said, lock him up for life, and then added Steve Cohen. He said, Diaz is 28. You want me to sign him for life? He might live to 100. That could get really expensive.
Steve is feeling himself.
Already considering it.
Shout out our boy Pabs, who met him at the game, and he fucking asked him if he says, listen, we got to believe all the time. So Steve Cohen, if you're watching, dial on in. The link's in the chat. We're going to go to Ryan now. What's up, Ryan?
In the shower.
All right, Ryan's going shirtless. I'm telling you, baby, we got the shower fucking scene going on.
I lost my softball playoff game, so I rushed home. I was pissed off, and, I caught the end of the game. I was following along like Twitter. I'm always following you guys. Huge fucking win. Got to get the first one. Love that Buck went to Diaz for 6 outs. Just go with your best guy. We'll see what else the bullpen has the rest of the way. I'm a little still, upset they didn't go for more. I know you guys talked about it in the last show. I won't dwell on that. But fucking Eppler kind of looked like a genius. Naquin coming through. Vogelbach coming through. Pete always coming through. Huge, huge win. They said it on the broadcast. I don't know if you guys caught this. Fucking Buck always looking out for his guys. He moved the Sunday game to 4:00.
Yep.
Love that. Always looking out for he's like, fuck that. We're not playing at 1. I just love this team right now. I'll let you guys get to the rest of the callers, but huge fucking win. Huge fucking win. Gotta believe.
Gotta believe. I love it. It's calling from the shower. Don't, double, little extra shampoo today, Ryan. Treat yourself. It's your fucking night. It's a Thursday. That's beautiful. We have people calling in from the shadows. God bless the internet. This is stuff that wasn't possible.
That second Naquin home run, too, was a glitch in the Matrix. And that looked like it was going nowhere. Ass out, flip of the bat. And I was like, this dude's got pop.
Yeah. You guys were texting, and it was like, wow, and I must have been a second behind. And then I see the hit, and I'm like, wait, are they saying wow, home run, wow? And then I was like, oh, that was a home run, wow. So, again, I'm telling you, Eppler he has it all charted. Jetstream, some nerd is telling him the Naquin, like the way he hits the ball, it is fucking made for the Citi Field Jetstream, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It's a good day for Eppler apologists right here. And I'm going to try to ride the wave. I'm going to still tweet out the Eppler mode. I mean, we all were a little disappointed at the deadline, but I mean, shit, if you lump these guys in with the deadline, just look at the numbers Phil was tweeting out. And speaking of numbers tweeted out, our boy Joe DeMeo, I don't know if you guys saw this. Brett Beatty has 2 home runs tonight through 2 innings, 18 on the year. His OPS is 939, and he's fucking his OPS the last 28 days is like 1,100 or something. So he's going to be getting up to Syracuse soon. I'm happy we didn't trade him. Like Juan Soto, I will face him with the Nationals the next 10 years. I'll worry with that. Anyone else? I'm happy Brett Beatty is a New York Met, a Rumble Pony, whatever the fuck he is right now. Next up, we're going to go to Liam. How we doing, Liam?
I am phenomenal, guys. 4.5 up, never better. One thing stuck out to me tonight is I remember 2015, we went to Colorado after the deadline, and Cespedes hit like 3 bombs, and you're like,
yes.
Oh, shit, like this could be something. And even last year, it's all a disappointment in the end. But like the debut of the black jerseys, Baez hit the home run. I think it was his first game. And it's a little extra juice, and I just think that like this is like the deadline moment for us. 3 homers from the acquisitions, and Kyle, you said it best with like the opposite field. Like this guy's got pop. I mean, like he ran into his first one, like fastball up and in, like Vogelbach did with the grand slam, and you're like, okay, yeah, everyone could pull one when they hit one, get one a fastball at the belt, but just like hit one from the shoestrings, get out opposite field. That really showed me something with Naquin. That could be a steal. And deal,
we haven't even got to see the second half of our DH Mega Man that we're the
Right.
Vogelbach and Ruff going back and forth. Where I'm excited to see what he could do too, because it seems like he's pressing all the right buttons right now.
And we haven't really seen the arm and left out of Naquin, but I'm excited to see how that factors in, definitely. But another thing I wanted to touch on, just Edwin going 6. That's just unbelievable. I mean, like every time this guy needs to step up in the big spot. Gary was kind of going, getting a little skitsy on the broadcast after Rosario got the hit, but Rosario like really ran into that one. That one was not like a really good swing. It was a fastball up his neck. He's just defensive, and to show just how scary Diaz is, that 3-0 check swing. I mean, I was thinking like, I could never make contact, obviously, off Edwin, but like just to like accidentally, just like trying to get away from your face. That was unbelievable.
He makes some of the best hitters in baseball look like James McCann, basically. Like that's what he was doing to the heart of the lineup. Matt Olson, the ball, it was a strike, and he check swung, and he was, basically he was still complaining about it. It's like, no, dude, that should be 2 strikes. You're strike 4. You're fucking real out of here.
Matt Olson's stance pisses me off. It's kind of off topic, but the way he stands up there, just it seems like he'd be like susceptible to like stuff away, but I don't know.
They mentioned on the broadcast how Keith kind of had it, but it was like the inverse of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I bet Keith pissed a lot of people off with the way his bat was, and Olson's like the opposite of that. That's a good call. He's also handsome too. Matt Olson, I always thought was more of an uglier player. He's he kind of looks a little bit like Harvey, like a skinnier Harvey without the drug problem, the alleged drug problem. So.
Yeah. And just one more thing on the Braves is it's kind of crazy how much talent they've developed over the last few years. Other than like Olson, and I guess they traded for Rosario, and Duvall's injured, but he's been a piece. But the amount of like major league talent they've developed with Fried and all that. I think they traded for Fried, but they pretty much developed him.
And then they just sign him for sweetheart contracts every single time.
I would say Fried's not signed yet. That one's gonna really annoy me.
Phil just fucking like lashes himself.
There's like some sort of conspiracy with the Atlanta owner, right? Like, what is going on?
There's gotta be some shady shit for them to keep on getting these team-friendly deals to where like
the Riley one. Like, I don't know why it surprises me every time, but like Acuna, Albies, both on these ridiculous deals, and it's like they don't even care.
I keep saying it's like Rafael Devers is not as good as Austin Riley. If Rafael Devers got offered Austin Riley's contract, he'd probably just walk out and never play a game for the Red Sox again. He'd be that disgusted.
Riley is so scary. I mean, his first couple at bats today, like I know Cookie's been rolling, but like, what didn't they mention he was hitting like 450?
He had
in
411 in July with 11 home runs.
That's I mean, it's the next. I mean, they got Hank Aaron's juju back, I guess. But
Yep.
That's unbelievable. It looks like Mets 21-28's in the chat.
Yep.
That's always an exciting call. I'll let you guys get to that. But
he's on deck. Thanks for calling in, Liam, man. LFGM, my friend.
One, guys.
All right. Next up is Ethan. How are we doing, Ethan?
Gents, pleasure to actually talk to you.
Got the shirt on, Uncle Stevie time. How are you enjoying the Steve Cohen era so far? Pretty fucking good, right?
It's amazing. And the funny part is I was just looking on Twitter. The last time he tweeted was 4 days ago, and he just tweeted 9 minutes ago. He just responded to some random dude that said, you better sign Diaz for life.
Yeah.
And, he made a Cohen dad joke about it, but coming out of nowhere. So, yeah, I wore this tonight. I was wearing got the Mets.
Oh, got the
Mets dunks. Yesterday, I live in Virginia, so yesterday I went to the game in D.C. and was wearing my Francisco Lindor's good shirt. But
there we go.
It was and I love that guy because I went to one game last week, and then the game yesterday. Lindor consistently is the only guy before the game out there for like a long time signing autographs, balls for kids. Every time I've seen him, he's doing that. He really lives up. He's worth every penny. Tonight, can't say enough. Naquin, first Met in history to have 2 home runs in his home debut. So he made a little history. Alonso with a ho-hum 3 RBI day. It's like expected now.
No big deal.
It's expected. It's like, okay. And Cookie, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk, 89 pitches. I mean, what number starter is he, like 4? I mean, that's 5. That's what you hope for somebody who's not, your ace. And, as we said before, Vogel, Naquin, it's just night and day from Dom and JD. I like those guys, good guys, but we're making a push here. And it's, Atlanta is the defending World Series champions from June 1st to July 31st. Atlanta was 39-14. It's unheard of. Yep. And if you told me in March that Atlanta would go 39-15 over 2 months and we would still have a 3.5-4 game lead on them, I would be kissing the ground.
Yep.
We have to be positive.
Braves fans, they can, walk the walk, talk the talk, all that kind of shit. They had their parade already. I've just never seen a fan base go from the complete town of losers, which is what Atlanta is. Make no mistake about it. The Atlanta Falcons, the Braves would always make the playoffs, lose when it mattered, yada, yada, yada. The Hawks, I guess they're a team. They beat the Knicks in the playoffs a couple of years ago. But to go from that to now, they have their chest high, and they're getting humbled now. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. But, they're going to have to fucking deal with this team. This team's a pain in the ass, and this team's going to come out tomorrow, and they're going to grind against Anderson. They're going to grind against Fried. It's going to be a war of attrition, man. I'm just thinking what the bullpens are going to look like by the end of the season.
Like you said, Diaz is he throw 29, 30 pitches tonight?
He's done.
There's no way he can be available tomorrow.
No way at all. No way, no how.
He's burned, but you always want to take game 1. You want to set the tone, and that's exactly what Buck's mindset is, and I think that's what the whole team mindset is. It's like you just want that first one. You want to get over the hump, and then you run out there tomorrow, and it's our guy against your guy, and we'll see what happens. But Walker's been great too. I mean, Cookie this season, I think Mets fans were so quick to just like dismiss him. He went from being like, hey, this guy's going to be our number 2 when we got Lindor, to him being hurt and can't get through the first inning. And like now he's finally figured it out. He's throwing his off speed. He's locating all of those pitches. That was the biggest thing. Seems like all the guys that we got in those 2 years had a very hard time adjusting. Diaz couldn't locate. Cookie couldn't locate. Bassett, It depends on the inning. But then next thing you know, he's throwing 7 innings. All of our starters have been lights out.
Yep, 100%. And you said it too, like gone toe to toe with all these teams. The Astros are the one team that like just kind of kicked the shit out of us. And 2 of those games were the Verlander game was 2-0. The other game was 5-3. That I'll go to my grave saying if Jack McNeil played, they would have won that game. Like this is all you can ask for. And the Braves are going to have to see us a whole bunch more. The second half we'll have to see them, but I'm liking the way we're stacking up against them. So,
Yep.
Ethan, thanks for calling in. I just
appreciate the time, and not to get too far ahead, I will be at Barstool at the ballpark in September for Pittsburgh, and then Clem, I'm a crazy Giants fan. I want to get something going with that Carolina game the next day, make it a weekend.
Yep, it's gonna be man, I'm gonna die that weekend. I'm going to Barstool the ballpark on Saturday, and then the Giants tailgate at like 7 a.m. when they open the gates and tailgating, followed by a Giants game. So yeah, we're gonna get a little mini Barstool weekend out of it, man. So the shout out to everyone who does both of those. That's gonna be. I'm telling you, I told you, I said it fucking weeks ago. Mets are clinching that night. I don't even know the date, but they're clinching that night. LFGM. Say hi to the pooch for us. All right, look who we got here. Friend of the program, friend of the Mets, friend of Cohen, Mr. Chris Castellani. How we doing, Chris? I love that big swoosh Nike shirt, man. We got the chain on, a little Vogelbach chain going. Fucking great vibes.
That was my inspiration. How do I sound, by the way? I'm not using the heavy duty mic. Am I coming?
You're good.
Unbelievable game. Fun game. Great atmosphere, obviously. I mean, it's a different world when I step into watching some of these teams, man, compared to the Tigers. I mean, they played a minor league game tonight against the Rays, and I watched all 9 innings as I was, going back and forth between you guys and watching Verlander pitch. But I wanted to bring one thing up about the trade deadline that's interesting to me is
Please.
Look, I think that it's fair to say that there was some disappointment regarding the fact that you didn't completely address the catcher position. And outside of Givens, I know he had the bad outing yesterday. I still like him. You didn't completely address the bullpen. But what's interesting to me is that you're being vilified for that. And you have the Dodgers, who you guys are looking up at, the National League, who haven't won an actual ring yet. Like, they won it in the 60-game season. And they're viewed as the Patriots, as the San Antonio Spurs of the 2000s. You know what I mean? Like, they've won 1 ring, and it was in a 60-game campaign. Their big pickup at the deadline, Joey Gallo. New York radio has lost 90% of its material because Joey Gallo no longer plays in New York. Like, I think it was LaGreca who said today, I think it was Rosenberg who brought it up. Poor Josh Donaldson, he's the next in line. He's the next guy in the chambers that everyone's going to hate on. Like, that's their big pickup.
Kershaw, are you listening to New York radio, you sicko, just to get into the baseball vibes of it? Because I love it if that's the fucking case, Castellani.
Yes,
I'll kiss you on the mouth.
New York radio's dying over to Michigan radio.
Well, no, because the thing is, Detroit radio doesn't talk about baseball unless the Tigers are really, really good.
Gotcha.
So it's with New York, even when the Mets are bad, it's a topic. After May, which has been the case over the last 7 years, the Tigers are irrelevant. Like, every show is, how many games is Michigan State going to win? How many games is Michigan going to win? I don't know. Probably the same amount that they were going to win yesterday. Like, that's why I can't, and I'm a huge football fan, huge college football guy, but Dan Campbell seems like a nice guy. I don't need to hear about that every day in August. So it's weird to me that a team that is 2 years into a new ownership group is being criticized when you have a team that is labeled as the end all be all of baseball, who's getting a pass when they did nothing. And Buehler is probably, might come back, might not. Kershaw is aging, got injured. And I love the Dodgers. That's an amazing team to watch, but it's bizarre to me that you guys added Vogelbach and Naquin and Givens, 2 hitters who are really good against righties, which is something that you guys, needed to pick up on. And yet it's viewed as, well, the Mets didn't do enough. Well, outside of the Padres, who did really in the National League that you can look at and say they got infinitely better? Cardinals, Jose Quintana moves the needle a little bit.
I got told the Phillies did a lot. Their big deadline acquisition, that starter, Noah Syndergaard, 5 innings, 11 hits, 4 runs versus the Washington Nationals' vaunted lineup.
They got Loki tonight. They didn't get Thor. They got Loki tonight.
And they're going to win against the Nats, but you get the idea.
And I think you're right. And I think they did get better. But, I mean, is there anyone out there who thinks the Phillies are a World Series team? Like, I don't think they might be a playoff team. But the holes in that lineup, and defensively have been there from the beginning. I mean, that's probably the worst defensive outfield, maybe of the last decade. With
I don't know, did Castellanos play outfield for you guys when you had him, or?
It's the worst development of any player ever. We drafted him as a shortstop out of high school. moved him to left field, and then we picked up Prince Fielder and realized he was out of position, so we just put him at third. He was the worst defender in baseball for 4 years. Put him in right field. He's been basically as bad. So, I mean, that outfield with Schwarber, I don't know how much longer Herrera has there, but I think he's in center, and then Castellanos is pretty brutal. Yeah.
That's fucking unreal.
Also,
man.
for what it's worth, the Padres lost to the Rockies 7-3. So,
Wow.
Man,
at the end of the day, it's baseball. It's better to have pitching.
it's where, like, I worry about drinking the Kool-Aid with you guys too much, but when it comes to the Padres, like, are people just forgetting they're 12 games back? Like, I get it.
They're guaranteed to be a wild card team.
I know they are, but Musgrove has been really good. Musgrove, I don't believe, has ever started a playoff game. Darvish has, and he's gotten popped several times. And look, that's a really good team. And if I'm AJ Preller, I'm doing that same deadline 100 times out of 100. But this anointment of, well, now they're the favorites. You got a ways to go, man. I mean, you got to sustain it. Second half last year, they were in a similar spot. Their pitching completely tanked.
It's interesting because the team from, what was it, 2 years ago, when they were like just an electric team to watch, it was exciting every single game. Like, that team is the team that people think this team is, and it's not the same whatsoever. They just ran out of gas that year. That's why I think they added so many pieces this year, because they were like, this is our only chance where we're going to push in all the chips one more time, because money-wise, this can't be sustained. So, like, let's just go and see if we can run into one, because if they get hot at the right time, like, yeah, that lineup's like a murderer's row. But at the same time, they're not the best team in their own division. I think the only reason we're a little nervous is because every time we play them, they just seem to have our number, which same thing happened with the Cubs in 2015. And then, we exercised those demons in the playoffs. So you have to wait and see. But it is just like we never get to play them again between then and now. So it's just that lingering thing in the back of your head of like, well, we couldn't beat them without these players. Now they have upgrades. Like, let's see what happens.
And it's such a wide open NL too. That's why, like, I'm not knocking them for what they did. I think it's I think it's an incredible, deadline that they had. And, from a fan base perspective, you got, it reminds me of those Dombrowski years in Detroit, but there's more question marks there, I feel like, than people let on.
And by the way, Castellani, as soon as Naquin hit that first home run, I was getting the Naquin celebration gift. Castellani is like, he's not just, he's invested in this shit like us. And again, I've opened the fucking bandwagon to all fans, unless you're basically a Braves fan, a Yankees fan, fans that would never even want to join our bandwagon nonetheless. But I'm happy. Cubs fans, Sons of Uribe, Cubs fans, Sons of Uribe, Tigers fans, obviously. We got a whole bunch of people, man. We're kind of like the plucky. I even got a couple Pirates fans. By the way, that kid that took the picture, sell the team next to the Pirates owner, absolute fucking legend. What a move out of that kid, man. Had some balls. So Castellani is like, he's invested with this shit just as much, if not more, than Mets fans. He's listening to the radio. He's watching the games, pitch by pitch, and he's fired up. And what was the final of the Tigers tonight?
Oh, they lost 6-2. I mean, it was an uneventful game. We got thrown out, at third with nobody out. It was Drew Hutchinson pitched, who was out of the league for 4 years, and now he's back. So, I mean, that's where we're at right now in this state of things. So.
I almost feel like people that are going to complain about this Mets team just right now, it's like, just watch one game from watch the Mets rewind of 2021, but not a fun game, like a 2-0 game that they lost, and be like, now do you realize how good you have it now? Because I, as a Giants fan, when I watch the Giants play at like 1:00, especially at the end of that season, and then like the night game is like Rams Niners, and I'm like, these teams play the same sport as my
weird,
team,
right? Yeah,
it's so weird.
Trust me, I'm a Lions fan. I know exactly how that feels. I've been that way my whole life. I mean, it is bizarre. And for the record, like, I'm not saying that you have to, for the rest of the year, be like, oh, well, I have to be happy. Like, if you guys, if you come up short, if you fumble this thing, like, of course you'd be upset, but you also can't stop winning. Like, you're getting insane years out of basically everybody. So look, of course, there is always a possibility with every division, leading team that something goes sideways. But I mean, I think that you look at teams that have turned things around. The 2016 Cubs are a prime example where you wait for things to go wrong. You wait for things to go wrong, eventually realizing maybe that's just not going to happen. Maybe this culture is different. Maybe these players are different. And the management is different. So yeah, I mean, right now you gotta ride the wave. One last thing, because I'm sure you guys have more people jumping on here. I always really like Carrasco. I love Carrasco. He shut us down so many times when he was in Cleveland, and went through a bit of a rough patch for really about a year and a half because he had cancer, which I think is probably about as reasonable of an excuse as to why you're struggling.
Reason.
If you're doing ranking the top 10, that's probably number 1 with a bullet. He's always had great stuff, and tonight, really, I mean, through 4, he was just dealing. That slider was really working for him. So I mean, the fact that that's basically your 4 at this point, maybe your 3.
Castellani, what's your number 1 cookie? Like, what's like what cookie those first 4 innings? Like, what is your number 1? I know you used to be a big boy, so I'm sure you used to throw some cookies back in the day.
You know what's ironic? I had a cookie today, a chocolate chip cookie today, which is the first cookie I've probably had in about 3 years. Which is, I think that's symbolic.
It's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
I think that's why I ended up getting one for free. So I'd probably go with that one. A nice oatmeal raisin is probably second in command there. But what a great nickname, by the way. That's such a baseball nickname.
It's such a good nickname.
I don't know. Do you guys know? I feel like I should know where it came from outside of just starting with a C. I think it was a Cleveland-based thing. I think he liked.
He ate a lot of cookies or something like that.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was, but always liked him, man. I mean, he's like a perfect number 2, number 3 in a rotation. Yeah.
Chris Perez saw me eating a cookie in 2011 and started calling me Cookie, and like just a random shit in the clubhouse. This is how it goes. That's baseball, Susan, right? It doesn't make sense, but it happens. Yeah. Oh man. Well, Chris, thanks for coming in. Thanks for just following along with this, man. It's fucking great having you on this whole fucking crazy ride with us, my brother.
Yeah, we'll be in touch, guys. Have a good weekend.
Yes, sir. You too, man. All right. All right, I'm gonna use my closer to close it out. So we're gonna go to Dean now. Don't worry, I see you, my friend. We'll put you in for the closer. How we doing, Dino?
Not too bad. Just wanted to hop on and say I heard you guys talking about Beatty before. I was actually at the Rumble Ponies game tonight, so I missed the Mets game. But fucking 10 runs in 2.5 innings. Beatty hit absolute bombs, 3 pitches for both home runs. First at bat, first pitch over the side and center. Second at bat on the second pitch, straight opposite field. I don't know how he's not in AAA yet, but
1,100 OPS the last month, and I mean Joe DeMaio was singing his praise. Yeah, singing his praise.
I mean, 937 on the year.
Yeah, 937. I mean, he's an absolute monster, and it sounds like Vientos is not going to be that guy, at least defensively. And I mean, just based on the signings, it kind of makes sense, right? Escobar has a couple years on his contract. He can play other infield positions, so you kind of move him around, and he's a good locker room guy. And then hopefully Beatty kind of just comes up here. So, yeah, unless it was Juan Soto, I'm very happy this guy is still on our team. We talked a little bit about Ohtani today. Like, Ohtani is from another planet, but in New York, he didn't want to come here. Just that kind of scares me, but that's neither here nor there. The future is bright, is what you're saying. And I don't want to bring up this, like, it is such a fucking fabled team in this city and in baseball, but like the 86 team, that team was so fucking good, but they had such young studs coming up too that everyone talked about. You had Mookie and Dykes, they were around for a little bit, but then you had Hojo coming up. You had all these other guys that, they thought could be awesome, and they had Elster, and they had, Greg Jeffries, they thought was going to become this stud. So those late 80s teams have a lot of young talent, and hopefully we see Alvarez before this fucking. I can't take McCann is really on my shit list right now. Tonight, it's one night. Hopefully, the rest of the series, I don't think about him ever again, other than he's at the plate and grounds into double plays. But man, that's just it's tough to swallow that pill every single night. So, so that was your takeaway of the night. Beatty actually good.
And I just caught the 9th inning as soon as I got home. And honestly, I can't say the last time I've actually been excited to watch a 9th inning before the series. It's not even comfortability, it's excitement. Like, I'm actually looking forward to the 9th inning games.
Diaz's agent should put that on like the top of the thing. Mets fans are now excited to watch the 9th inning. Like, that's the biggest bargaining chip you can have right there, man. Well, thanks for calling in, Dean.
Yep, thank you.
Hopefully, and a little programming note, tomorrow, I know I'm going to be out during the night, so hopefully we'll be back by the end of the game. If not, we won't be going live tomorrow. We'll have Barstool the Ballpark on Saturday, so obviously we won't be going live after then. So hopefully Sunday, maybe Saturday afternoon, depending on when I leave for Barstool Ballpark. Hopefully we just keep winning, because I ain't doing these after a loss. But we don't really lose to the Braves that much. All right. I was going to use him as a closer, but we're going to go Edwin Diaz here. Mets 21-28. Oh, we got the hat on. Ooh, that is beautiful. I love it right there. How we doing, baby?
Anyway, let me just say one thing. I'm begging Uncle Stevie. DFA McCann's ass already.
Kick him out. Kick him off the tour, Doug.
I mean, if the Yankees were able to get rid of Joey Gallo, why can't we get rid of this deadweight catcher that Wilpon and Alderson forced on us?
I mean, I was actually wondering how close we are to the next luxury tax threshold. Do we know that, Phil? Has that come out at all?
I have no idea.
Yeah, just because I feel like without the moves, we didn't have to worry about that at all. And it's something that Uncle Steve probably doesn't care about, but it would be nice to go one full season without it. And at this point, it shouldn't happen. And I don't really know if you DFA him, you wouldn't have to add that much salary more than likely. But yeah, I'm with him, Best 21-28. Fuck that guy. Usually with you, it's a bullpen. We have the bullpen management. Was tonight acceptable for you the way it all played out?
Yes. Just didn't like how it panned out yesterday afternoon with Gibbons screwing it up. I mean, nearly screwing it up.
Yeah.
It's all uphill from there, right? You can't get much worse. I don't think he was throwing batting practice at that point. But the
And
big
then there was
note
the game
out
before
of Vino
that
looked good
where
tonight.
I basically went off on Buck saying that he got a little too cocky. And, of course, any DeGrom outing comes with the trade-off of little to no offensive productivity from us.
Truth.
It's unreal, man. The guy truly did sell his soul to become the best pitcher in baseball and just lose all offensive support. But a win is a win. Like you're in the South? I don't know if it really matters that much or if it's just a Mets fan thing. Are the Braves kind of the team that really grinds your gears and you like beating them more than anybody else?
Yes. I mean, sure, down here we can also get Orioles, Nationals, and Reds games, but Braves are the bread and butter down here.
Yeah,
here in the Carolinas.
Yep, and they're walking tall right now after they finally won another World Series. So give me a confidence rating right now after tonight, just for the rest of the series, 1 through 10. Where are you right now?
7.5.
On the Mets 21-28 curve, that is an A for like an idiot like me that kind of is always in the clouds. So I'll take that, my friend. I'll take that. LFGM, baby.
Damn right.
Gotta believe. All right, we're going to Erasmo. You always bring some good fucking juju. How you feeling, baby?
Boys, let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's go. The 7.5 rating is ridiculous.
I tried to be nice.
That is absurd. My hands are as steady as I've never been this calm about a team like ever. I'm not worried at all. The 6-out save was nothing. I mean, what are the Mets 105 now when they score 5 or more runs? Like that stat is actually bananas. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is another game with win without JD Davis too. So we have like 32 and what? I don't even know what that stat was. I still can't believe that was real life. But whatever it was.
When you tweeted out Eppler's face and just said say his name, it's like everyone just shut the fuck up and just let the man work behind the shadows in his little cave. And Stevie, that statement that he put out was .72 written all over it. It's just like let Stevie funnel his guys in, let them like have their influence. Everyone just calm down. Cake and punch, guys.
And
That's
Blue
it.
Mountains to your soul. Chill to your soul. Erasmo, his hand is steady. What are you right now? 1 to 10. What are you right now?
Look. I've said.
I love when I put everyone else on there. I was like, I'm a Mets fan. I've been through some shit. It's been a tough ride.
We've seen it. I've seen some dark times here. So a 10 is scary. I'm gonna do no rookie scores here. I'm gonna do a 9.7. 9.7.
That is a strong number.
No concerns at all. I got an ice cream sandwich that was called the Cookie Monster today before the game.
Ooh,
we're just vibing here, guys. We're vibing.
We are vibing.
I will call out one thing. Every time that they hit a home run, I had gotten up and left the room every single time that they hit a home run today. I don't know what was going on, but I was just like, okay, it'll eventually just keep happening.
When you left the room, the Mets hit a home run, and then you come back and wow, yeah.
Like I would hear it as soon as I stepped out of my living room. I would hear Gary start making the call. I'm like, holy shit! I would run back, and the ball's already over the fence. I'm like, oh, what the fuck! I missed it again. It was crazy.
I haven't had any this team. I am so calm about this team. I don't have my like weird ticks yet where I have to like hold the ball in my right hand or sit in the special spot on the couch and stuff like that. But Kyle said it, man. This is October baseball in August. And I mean, the hater fans are going to say it's your World Series. Oh, you guys are gearing up. It's like, if you don't fucking care about this series right now, you're just not a fucking fan.
What do
You
you
don't have to
care
play in October or September, you dumb fucking morons, especially when we now have a 4.5 game lead. This means a little bit more to them right now than it does to us.
Like, are you only going to celebrate when the Mets actually win the World Series? Like, is that the point of this? Is like you're gonna say that the world, like the sky's falling right up until they make the last out of the last win. It's like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But
think about how much more insufferable we would be if the Braves weren't as good as they are. If we had a huge lead, like we're being battle tested this entire the way through, where they can't take their foot off the gas pedal at all. I saw a quote because they were interviewing a tight end from the Packers, and like the Packers had such easy runs through the thing that he's like, yeah, like we're usually just like tired of it by the playoffs and we lose focus. I'm like, this team can't lose focus at all, because the second they take their eyes off of the prize, the Braves are right there behind them. So we're playing playoff baseball for the next, I don't know, 3-4 months.
Yeah, I actually like that it's a little close, because like now we just get to like rip their hearts out. Like I like going to like Braves Twitter and just like if you guys ever seen that meme of Cartman like licking up the tears, and it's like, oh yeah, cry, like it's delicious. Like I'm just enjoying, the misery of other teams, because we've been there our entire lives.
Yes, we've been there our entire lives, and everyone thinks we're just going to be there the rest of our lives. And if there wasn't a seismic change, like the owner of the New York Mets is a billionaire that wants to win and will do whatever it takes, like I would say, all right, this is the same, but from top to bottom. And that 9-7, that's probably like a 9-2 if you don't have old Buck in the dugout, the steady hand himself, and you just every time I see him, I'm like, by the way, someone tweeted at me and I thought the same thing. Did the umpire challenge his own call? Did he like call the booth from his own fucking call? Can you do that, Phil? Does this happen all the time? What the fuck was going on?
I think the Braves just immediately challenged the call. It must have been that fast.
That was unfucking believable.
He called safe and immediately put his hands up and like went to his ear. Like he didn't even wait. He just pulled the ear set right out of his like pocket and put it in. It was unbelievable. It was the fastest challenge ever. One last thing before I go. We have to put respect on Uncle Stevie's name. When he purchased the team, it was $16 billion in net worth. Now, $17.6 billion of just straight cash money. Straight cash money, guys.
We don't lose.
Payrolls off of interest on an annual basis. Okay, let's fucking go. Let's go, boys.
That's the exact energy we need, Erasmo.
You
Thank you,
believe.
my friend. I
Let's
gotta
go.
believe. Andre here said Tyler Naquin's parents were in the crowd today. That's fucking awesome. Love to see that. That's fucking. I just love when the little stories and everyone's feeling the juju. When everyone comes into the office the next day feeling good about themselves, everybody's happy. The boys are buzzing. That's what we like to see. We're throwing this to Matheson 303. What's up, Matty boy?
What's up, Clem?
How we doing, baby?
Man?
Pretty
Not
fucking
bad.
good. My team just beat their fucking rivals yet again.
Dude, I'm not even surprised, man. At the end of the day, like, we took 2 out of 3 the last time, and then we split the series in the beginning of the year with them, and that's when we weren't, like, fully throttled into our team, and now, all of a sudden, we get all of our pieces back, we're all together, and we have the Grom and for the series and everything like that, and now we're rolling. And we actually showed today that we can just take the first game at any series. That's the reason why we've been winning every single series this entire season. Like, we always take the first game. We set the pace for every single team. Maybe the Dodgers took the first 2 of this year, and that was pretty much it. But from here on out, like, we've always take the first game of the series, and we have a good chance of winning the series or sweeping, taking 4 out of the 1. I would say we take 4 out of the 1 because of tomorrow. We have the the doubleheader, which is always like a 50-50 split.
Yep.
But I think that the real MVP of this year should be Billy Eppler, and I don't think he gets enough credit from anyone that's being from like commentating sense, because he built this team from beginning of the year. He got Marte, he got Canna. Who would have thought Canna would have been actually a good acquisition? Escobar's okay, I guess, but he's good here and there. But I think this guy actually is our guy. He's like our Brian Cashman of the Yankees. He actually has like a good sense of baseball. He's always involved. He's always in moves. And at the end of the day, it's when we're the Mets from the Wilpon era, we weren't like always in on moves. We always had like, it was like, oh, maybe we'll get him, maybe we won't. But now, like, any name is up for grabs.
No,
And
you
that
make.
could,
No, you make
You know what I mean?
you make a great point about Eppler. I mean, he kind of, he drove us. We wanted the lefty reliever. A catcher is just gonna ring more and more true the longer out it takes for Alvarez to get up, and the more McCann just butt fucks us every single goddamn night or every other night if him and
Yeah.
Neil are splitting time. But he did build this team, and listen, it's like the Cashman thing where it's like you'll get none of the credit because it's you have the owner with the giant wallet that wants
he's our
to spend.
scapegoat.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's a scapegoat. He gets the clown emojis and, Billy wake up. But it's like he has a couple more nights where Vogelbach does this, Naquin does this. If Ruff does, goes deep on Fried or something like that, then it's at some point everyone's going to shut the fuck up. You hear this, you hear it from a lot of people where they're saying, fucking people are comparing him to Stick Michael that, were with the Yankees at the time. That's as good of a fucking compliment as you're going to get in baseball, basically. So it's hard. And I think I saw it in the chat, and I don't know if I saw a tweet about it or an article. I don't know if Kyle, if you or Phil saw it, but they're saying sounds like Stearns might be here next year, which as the Brewers are slowly gutting their team right now, would make a little bit more sense, right? So,
Which really doesn't.
What's that, Phil?
It felt like common knowledge last offseason with all those leaks. So
Yeah.
If you're looking at inevitability more than anything else.
Yep. So,
which is perfect because they're building a brain trust of people. It's not just like one guy. Where like the Yankees, all you know is Cashman. You don't really know much about anyone else. Like this one's like the Theo effect, where it's not just a person who's calling all the shots. It's let me run this by my cabinet of 4 or 5 guys of what's the best move, who's doing what. They're going to take different territories. I wanted what was that one guy's name from the A's that I thought we were going to get. Where he was just like knowledgeable of every minor league system so that he could just go pluck people for trades. It's like everyone has their job in their lane and they stay in it. And if that's the way they're going to run this, if he's running it like 0.72, like a corporation, it's going to be a well-oiled machine come through 2-3 years from now.
And I know Kevin didn't like that quote about the 1% to then down the road mediocrity and all that stuff. But if you win the World Series, or if you can build a consistent winner and the guys that you didn't trade end up becoming stars, those are the quotes that they talk about on the DVD or the books they write about the World Series champions. It's like, we didn't trade this guy. I mean, what was it? Mariano almost got traded to the Mariners, right? Mariano almost got traded and it didn't happen. It's like, I'm not saying any of the guys we have are Mariano, but that's the kind of fucking, same thought process.
Well, at the end of the day, guys, like, when we think about when we have these like championship runs and stuff like that in 2006, 2015, 1986, 88, they're really spread out, and we don't have like dynasties. I think at the end of the day, what Cohen's trying to do, he's trying to build a dynasty.
Yes.
He's not trying to have this 1 year where we put all their chips in, and then all of a sudden it all goes to shit and we lose our guys, and then we don't have a future. And when it comes down to Billy Eppler and the people that are working under him, they're working for their jobs. Like, they're not working for the Mets and for the fans. They're working for their jobs. And when we make a Soto trade, which I'd love to have Soto, he's a great player and all, but like, for us not emptying the farm and then waiting for him to become a free agent, and we can have all the people on the farm that are actually going to be worthwhile, and then have Soto or possibly Ohtani or someone in the future, I'd rather have that. And I'd rather have a dynasty have years to come instead of just going all in. I get going all in, but like, we have a good enough team to win the World Series now. Why not have the next few years having that opportunity like the Dodgers do every single year? Like, they have a fucking farm now. Sorry to curse. Well, like, they have a farm now, and they have great players now because they built this over 15 years. They've had this going on for a long time. For the Mets fans to be upset for Cohen having 2 years of ownership and having the team like they're having now, I think it's a really good opportunity that we've put ourselves in.
Yep. No,
I don't know what you guys feel, but I think that's my understanding of how things are running right now.
Nope, you got it, Matheson. Thanks for calling in, my friend. Cohen, when he bought the Mets, he didn't say, I want to get a World Series champion. He didn't say, I'm going to do whatever it takes like the 97 Marlins did. He says, I want to become the Dodgers of the East. And that's what the Dodgers of the East is. Everyone watching, subscribe right there I can never point the right way. Right there, Francisco Lindor, authentic autograph jersey, picking a winner at 5,000 YouTube subscribers. All you got to do is smash subscribe. If you want to change accounts on there, as long as your account is something that is an email that says you win, you can join multiple times. I don't know how am I going to, I'm an idiot. We're all professional idiots here. We're not going to be able to tell how many times. We're at 4.21K. So what is that? 4,200 give or take. So once we hit 5,000, we're going to pull the raffle. So don't wait to do it. Hit subscribe, get into the contest. It's not going to cost you anything. It's fucking YouTube. We just see our ugly mugs occasionally get bubbled up in the algorithm. That's all it's going to do. And maybe you walk away with a fucking future Hall of Fame Francisco Lindor jersey right there. Can't go wrong. All right, 2020 Wilpon sold. You're rounding us out here.
Okay. Wait. Give me like 20 seconds. I'm just driving to a parking lot with this light on. I'm driving right now.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Subscribe, check out the podcast, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Anything else? Biggest takeaway of the night, Kyle. What was your biggest takeaway of the night? You're on mute. You're mute.
Seems like all of the pieces are coming together. Temper your expectations. They're going to hit a home run every night. But if they figured out what we needed from a number standpoint and how 3 guys can equal 1 guy, that we didn't need some huge name, and this is our Juan Uribe and our Kelly Johnson of 2015, strap in, folks, because if we have a complete lineup head to toe and we're meeting all the matchups and Buck's pressing all the right buttons, this is going to be exciting to see.
Perfectly said.
We got rid of the bad players. We got good players. Simple as that.
Phil always has a way. Has a way with words. He gets as much of it done. It's like the Twitter version, baby. 280 characters or less. He handles it. And yeah, I guess my takeaway is basically these games are going to be huge. We're going to fucking fuck them up. They're going to fuck us up back. It's not going to be easy. It hasn't been easy all year. It's going to probably be the same in the games. I mean, be nice not to lose another series. If we could go ahead and win this series, which obviously if all games are played, someone's going to win this series. It won't be like a 2-2 split, which always makes you feel a little off. And again, the bullpen's going to give up runs on both sides. Everyone don't freak out about that. Vogelbach, rough. They'll probably strike out here or there. You can't just freak out. You can I don't care if you shit on Eppler. I feel like Eppler is my new, it was Nimmo. It was Diaz. It was Lindor. I'm 3 for 3 with those guys. And I don't even feel like I had like Eppler. It's like, how am I going to fucking defend Eppler? His team is running away with the National League East right now, or at least trying to. So just everyone just stay even keeled and just enjoy the ride. These are the good old days. They just started. It's going to be a long, long time. I'd rather win a World Series sooner rather than later because then things are going to start adding up. But these are the good old times. Enjoy them while they're here. All right. We got 2020 Wilpon sold. He's in the parking lot. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. So I was actually the guy at the watch party. I had the signs. You gave me the
yeah.
Yep, thank you for that.
No problem,
I was gonna say one positive thing, one not so positive thing. How much longer can we go with McCann as our starter? Like if you're going to a playoff set, this is the negative thing, Birds. If you're going to a playoff series, are you going in with Nito as the starter or McCann as the starter?
I can tell you right now, I will not last the rest of the season alive if McCann is playing like the way he's been playing tonight, which granted it's his first game back. We always want easing these guys back. He's a veteran. I wouldn't expect it like with Jake as a pitcher or like a rookie like Alvarez throwing him to this. It's a fucking tough game to come back. I don't know if that's what did it, but man, I almost feel like you have to have Nito kind of be the guy if he's healthy. I don't know how much his hand can still be fucked up, but I mean, at this point, they're all the same in terms of hitting, and I just feel better with Nito. I feel like everyone feels better with Nito, right? At this point,
I beg to differ a little bit just because he's what 300 runners in scoring position. I mean,
yeah. That number is much better. Yeah, 100%.
That's the only important number. I mean, not the only important number, but that's the key number.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're right.
I mean, McCann, he couldn't stop a pass ball tonight. And I'm not trying to be like Mets 21-28 being all negative. I'm a big Nito guy, so I'm trying to get my support in for him.
Oh, I think you're talking to a Nito guy right here.
I know.
Nito, I love that fucking dude.
I know.
The second he started throwing people out from his knees on a regular basis, I was already sold on him from that point. I'm like, if you're going to be able to throw people out and call a good game, and the pitchers like to throw to you, I always go back to DeGrom not wanting to throw to McCann. You have the best pitcher on the planet going, nah, fuck this dude, I'll take the backup catcher. Like, if he's willing to throw to him, I think everybody else is pretty comfortable throwing to him. So the only hang up here is that he's making $10 million a year and the other guy's not.
All right, now give me the good one. Give me the good one. Fire me up to wrap up this pod here.
I was going to say that, so I'm on, I'm a Twitter head, I'm on Twitter, and I'm seeing on the Braves Twitter page, because why would I not go on that after a big Mets win?
Of course.
And they're like, oh, it's the Mets World Series. What do you know? They're having Edwin Diaz pitch for 6 outs. Well, I'm like thinking the point is to win, right? Like if we lose, it's we suck, and if we win, we're treating it like the World Series. Like how do you want us to treat these type of games? It's just I don't know. It's just every big game we win, we get shit for no matter what. The Yankee fans did the same thing. It's our World Series. Every big win is always our World Series. It's just I don't know. I kind of like being that hated fan base, or that, you know, it's like that underdog mindset where everyone's counting you out. It just fires me up just to think like that.
Yep. No, I didn't see it. I'm sure if I go down, I'm sure the Mets Twitter community, they don't realize when they retweet all the fucking idiots in the Braves world, or the fucking basically trolls that they are, they're then giving them exactly what they want. But let them say it's our World Series. We keep winning games. We'll keep going we'll go to the actual World Series. I heard about the Yankees. I heard it from the Braves fans. Everyone's talking about us, and all we do is fucking win. So put them out of sight, out of mind, baby. That is not our problem. And Diaz, Phil said, like, he didn't pitch since Friday. You might as well just fucking see it. And yet, like, these are the things you have to know what your guy can do when it is October, and you may have to have him go to innings. Like, can you give me that? What are we going to learn? I saw he said in SNY, he said he had the song in his head. He was playing Narcos in his head when he came back out, because that's kind of what gets him all juiced up. I said, play the fucking trumpets when he's leaving the dugout for the second inning for now on. What are we doing, Mets here? God damn it.
It's just crazy that those two fan bases say that when the Braves have lost their last 2 to the Mets, and they lost 2 or 3 to the Dodgers. The Yankees are 0-5, 0-6 versus the Mets, or the 0-5 versus the Mets and Astros since the All-Star break. So it's just crazy to have that mindset, but I don't know. I'm glad that we're on the other side of it.
Yep, you said it, my friend. Thanks for calling in. That's second place problems. We don't worry about second place problems no more, baby. We're fucking first place problems. We're living good. We're the fucking cicadas. We're gonna be loud. Mets go 4-1 or better in this fucking series. Twitter is not going to know what hit them, because we have been having to eat shit. It's only April, only May, June, swoon. July is when it's going to happen. Wait till August. Mets always blow it in September. And then, unless the Mets sweep the World Series, it's going to be a disappointment for people. So I'm not going to worry about that. Tomorrow, we fucking feast on Ian Anderson. Is that right?
Anderson versus Taijuan Walker.
Taijuan Walker. Phil already has my antenna are up. I appreciate it, Phil. You said Taijuan is not a good matchup for the Braves. Did he face him already this year?
I don't think he has. I think he missed that series back in May. I could be wrong though.
Yeah,
but
I'll take a quick
if we're gonna win more, it's gonna be a slugfest. So if we gotta win 9-8, we gotta win 9-8.
Exactly. He has somehow not pitched against the Braves this year, which is pretty impressive. And I mean, I could look at last year. 5 innings, 5 earned. I mean, this was I think after the All-Star break, so that's when everything started coming off.
Thursday after the All-Star break. So,
and let's see, 5, but earlier in the year when it was good, Taijuan 5 innings, no earned, 3 innings, no earned. So I don't know what happened in that other start, but if Phil tells you something, just have the radar up, keep it going. So tomorrow, let's fucking take 2, and then just gotta win, and then gotta win one of your last 3 to take the series. And there's Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom are 2 of the 3 fucking probable starters there. So no matter what, man, fucking no matter what's tomorrow, no matter what happens Saturday, Barstool at the ballpark. Get your tickets right now. Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.